I'm ready to go, dude. My heart is pounding, dude. Let's go. It's so that it keeps going the same way, you know? The whole, it's still like a little bit whimsy. And see what happens. Does Chris still go out? Oh, the red dot is back. Thank you again. Thank you. Others I know jump scares, dude. Chris did not go outside this time. And they have the soul seemingly. Chris, are you feeling all right? I can't tap anything. Okay, I know it is the weekend, but this is going on its own. You have not left your room all day. The festival was today. You know, was? So we slept. The sun is going. Wow, we slept through the festival. If you get up now, you can still see the parade. Chris, at the very least, you should eat something. So I assume that if I move here, I force him. There is some honey toast on the table. Then I feel like Chris is like trying their best to like not let us move. I made it for you. I assume if I press the arrow keys, I get up. Well, I will be downstairs reading. I know it has been difficult without your brother, but we're inside Chris, so... Well... No one can make you get out of bed, honey. I feel like I have to move here. I just want to see the dialogue. She's gone. If I wait here, what happens, right? Yeah. Yeah, Chris does not want... Chris does not want us to move. Holy...
I'm falling!
Yeah, Chris does not want us to move, man. Damn, oh my god, dude, this is so heartbreaking. Man. Yeah, Chris does not want to go through with this. And they just like stay laying there. Oh my god. I'm having a hard time, dude. Chris does not want to get up. Do I have to like really mash on him? Yeah, Chris is like moving like really slow too. Yeah, that is resistance if I've ever seen it, man. Like, look at how they're like jittering. Like, yeah, we're working, dude. This is man. Wow. Still 9 out of 20. Is that how did I want to sleep like that last night? Last info. I can't even use my cell. Use? Dude, nothing. Dude, oh my god. Dude, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Can't even use the cell, man. And Chris, let's go use the bathroom. Let's wash our hands. Flush the toilet, you remember that, Chris? You know, flushing the toilet 3 times, you know, get your mom. We'll sure rile your mom up, huh? Wasn't that fun, Chris? Can you even interact with the toast? Dude, not even with the toast. Chris, are you alright, sweetheart? You should eat something. There's some honey toast on the table for you, alright? Maybe some festival games might cheer you up? I'm sure Susie would love to play with you. Chris doesn't even have the stomach to eat anything. Oh, there's... Hey, took you long enough. You trying to sleep through the festival or something? Noel's waiting for you. At the beach. Oh, it's a beach, not a lake. She, told me to get you. Yeah, we already kind of hung out. Well, guess you gotta go. Why does she stay there waiting then? I feel so bad for Susie, man. I feel bad for everybody. What's that? Or maybe it's just, dude, I can't even run. Are we only allowed to go directly to the beach? Do we like warp there, or can we go potentially to the shelter? Hey, wait a sec. You wouldn't, I mean, you wouldn't want to see the festival first, would you? Yeah, I saw everything went well, but like, I still want to see how you react to stuff too, you know? Come on, it'll be fun. Pretty sure there's no festival in your house. Who was king and queen? Yeah, everyone's over there to see the festival king and queen. It's lame, right? I mean, like, why's it gotta be a king and queen? Whatever we are, it's cooler, right? Right? Not in a weird way, you know. We use that word. Royalty schmoyalty. We rule this festival right now, right? Doing the king queen vote thing with Noel was fun. I put down me and her plus some extra epic drawings. See? I used a green pen for my radioactive breath. She voted before I saw hers though. She was like super excited to write it. Yeah, you kind of missed out, but like, I'll redraw it on the table for you later. And add you in, like, getting melted by me. Getting melted by me. Dude, Susie's gonna kill Chris, dude. Oh, I'm not going over there. That's where, yeah. Sans isn't even here. Oh wow. Oh yeah, me and Noelle rode this. She didn't even look out the window though. The whole time she was just resting, her head on my shoulder. Dude, my heart was beating like crazy. I don't get how she was so calm. Anyway, you want to ride the wheel? Alright, I call shotgun. Hey, Chris, everything good? You just seem kinda... Whoa, wait a sec. Chris, did you feel that? Earthquake! Oh, she's shaking it like they used to. Damn, that was close. We almost... Oh, hell! It's the aftershock! See, knew that'd make you laugh. Hey, sit over on my side. The view's better. The view of you being a headlock, idiot. Hey, stop pretending to snore. What am I to you guys, a big pillow? Don't nod. Guess that's about it, huh? That was pretty fun, right? That was fun. Maybe next year we can actually break it. Hey, he's sweet. No one's in there. That means free grape soda and could wear their uniforms and pretend to work there, and take like pics of us standing on the salad. No, it's locked. Standing on the salad. Look, there's a pepperoni on the floor right in there. I think I can grab it with my tongue under the door. Oh damn, it's too far. She actually Oh my god, dude, it's fucking heartbreaking, man. Whatever's fucking coming next. It's like they have like all these like little happy moments, and I'm sure like whatever's gonna do, there's no turning back from whatever's gonna fucking happen, man. Hell, Chris, you're not gonna believe this. 3 rolls and honey packets and butter, margarine, whatever. That's like basically a good sandwich. Ketchup, salt, water. That's free tomato soup. We're living in luxury. Bon appetit, right? Susie's too pure, man. Oh, Santa's still here. Hey, are you the ice cream stand? Nah, that's next to me. What are you then? The ice cream sans. Okay, can we get some ice cream? Can you fill out this card? Whatever. What do I put on it? Damn. Just draw you and your friends on it. That way I can give you a discount. Alright, whatever. Here, me, Chris, and Ralph say. I know he can't use it, but I gotta put him on. I know he can't use it, but I gotta put him on. Thanks. So, when do we get some ice cream? Whoops. I don't have any. What do you mean you don't? But the stand will after it finishes churning. In the meanwhile, why don't you take this? You got the bread. Bread? What do you have this? To make ice cream sandwiches. It's kind of a good idea. Guess I gotta wait until the ice cream's done. I'll walk you to the beach though. You know, when you want to go. Okay, I thought I stop. The ice cream will be ready later. Take it easy, okay, kid? Sans knows, dude. This house, it's pretty new, right? Don't really remember what was here before, though. Don't really remember what was... This house is pretty new. I don't remember what was here before, though. I don't know what to make of that. Dude, Tammy left all her art crap. Hey! Let's draw on her sketchbook. Hey, what? Her art's like... Hey, what? Her art's like crazy good. Man, even she's like good at stuff, huh? I like your art too, yeah, she's a genius. Yeah? I mean, it'd be stupid if you didn't. What's with this bread though, right? Info. Bread. A loaf of bread. Tends to leave crumbs wherever it goes. Oh, sorry, as we walking, are we leaving breadcrumbs? Bread. A loaf of bread. Tends to leave crumbs wherever it goes, or wherever you go. If I could save and use it, see what happens. Damn, that annoying lazy guy isn't even here. Yeah, I am. Huh? Huh? I'm just lying down conspicuously out of view. The hell are you doing that for? Eating raises face down on the floor. Ugh, can't really blame him for that. Why aren't you in the ice cream stand? Can't really eat ice cream face down on the floor. Damn, I hate when he's right. There you go back here then? Okay, whatever. Dude, now that Noel's not here, we should totally get a hose and fill that cup. No further plans. Dude, stop making that further plans face. Save point isn't even there anymore. Hey, they got free lemon slices here. Check this out. First, you get a bunch of free lemon slices. Then you squeeze them in free lemon water. That's a free sweetener. Then you got like free lemonade. Cool, right? Got that for free. Yeah, poor Susie. Santa's kind of weird. There wasn't anyone at it today. Maybe just close early? Beats me. That's what the fucking goner people weren't even here, huh? Hey, purple water. You know we gotta sip that. Wait, stop. Stop. It's all like fuzzy. Oh, did the fucking guy use disintegrate there? It was actually freaking acid. Dude, no, I don't know what the hell this is. That's why you're here, to explain. Great, you don't know either. You could just say that next time instead of staring into my eyes. Jesus, scared the shit out of me. I won. Keeps hitting me over the head. I won. They have police tape. Why don't they have police? Clue! Hey guys, I think I found the clue. I mean, I'm glad they don't, but they could. What's even past there, man? Are we even gonna be able to go past the police sign? This is like they fucking skinned Icy's alive and like are stretching him to like make leather or something. Jeez. So you can go down. Oh, Rudy. Is Rudy okay? Hey, dude, you okay? Shouldn't you be at the king and queen thingy? Me? No, I still got some lights to finish. Up here. You sure, man? Susie, it's better you learn sooner than later. Holidays are always full of surprises. Good surprises? Depends on which holiday. Oh my god, dude. Fuck, poor Rudy, man. Can't even go down or over there. It'd be pretty funny to see you get jump scared, but yeah, you can't go in there. We're banned. Was feeling like the eyeball grape. I was feeling like the eyeball grapes or whatever, and Noelle just put her hand in the bowl and started holding mine. Yeah, they banned us for that. Sucks. It's kind of funny. Nothing scared her at all. Even me. I mean, with the shit she's been through, you know. Dude, what's your favorite horror movie? Did you like the one with the creepy doll? Huh, your brother never wanted to watch them? What was he like? Oh, I'll make the popcorn. He just never came back. What was I right? I mean, Noelle loves scary movies. You didn't watch any with her? It's all good. I'll teach you. You're buying the tickets though. A scary dude. Let's slap up the orange goop together. That it tastes like the clay from art class. Wait, no, Noelle's that could see. I don't want Noelle thinking I'm a lapper. I don't know. It's not like an all-time thing. Just a with you thing that we never did before. They're talking about the haunted doll or Chucky. Maybe is what we're talking about. I don't want to use this unless I find a save. Dude, Rudy, he's like panting, you know. He doesn't feel good, man. Fuck. He doesn't look good, man. Oh, I can go right now. Can I even go? I don't think I can even go to the dark world. Can I? Because, you know. Wait, move your foot. Dollar coin on ground. Wait, move your foot. Dollar coin on ground alert, idiot. I can get gummy monsters on my ice cream. So, well, she did something kind of funny earlier. I said I didn't have any cash for food, and she took out like a roll of bills, probably like hundreds of dollars, and just held it out to me, smiling. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen that much money. Yeah. Poor Susie, man. I didn't take it. I said some cheesy stuff like, man, you could get 100 grape sodas with that. I don't know why, it just felt so weird. If you had $5, I'd expect you to buy me stuff, but I guess same back. If I had $5 too. Poor Susie. Man, even Rousey was acting kind of weird today. Guess he was just worried you slept in. Asked if he wanted me to do anything. He was like, he just got quiet and shook his head. Anyway, let's see him later after our other stuff. Let's see Rousey later, okay? Let's see what the bread does, right? What if I use it over here where the fucking thing was? Hey, don't eat that. Save it for later. You know, ice cream sandwiches. Oh, okay. Oh, I can go back and see if I can get ice cream now. It'd be fun if he wasn't even there anymore. The ice cream will be ready later. Take it easy, okay? Okay. I can't even get it. I can't even save, dude. There's like no save point. Dude, my heart's pounding. Oh, this is back here. Can I even go back? Pretty sure there's no festival in your house. Hey, you don't know that. It's like Susie's like the only fucking light shining on Chris's like life right now. Same with Susie and Chris's they're all Susie's the only light. What was Asgore? Looks like your dad's in there. Guess we don't need to hang out with him. What? What? You want to hang out with the flowers? Only you knew, Susie. Everything smells nice, right? Come on, smell it, Stinky. Oh. Still doesn't bring up anything. Doesn't bring up anything still. Only the bread. So like, at least in terms... So the whole Dark World thing happened early, so is just the Dark World not just gonna happen in the Weird route? That has some like crazy fucking implications for like the rest of the story. I mean, so far, it's right, there was a change here where like Susie drew Chris, herself and Ralsei on the punch card. And that's different. So now I kind of brings the question like which route is like the canon one. I'm pretty sure it's like it's the normal one where, you know, where Susie draws herself, Chris, and Noelle. But the seemingly, I mean, maybe it will. Like again, time wise, this is around the we leave late at night. Oh no, I'm wrong. No. Yeah. This whole thing with Susie where she's taking like Noelle into like the beach, and they, like, you know, she carries her, and it's already like afternoon, you know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could still see the like shadow roll. It's gonna be what I'm fucking asking myself is like what the fucking like NPC interactions are gonna be like, right? That's a long ass chapter, man. So okay, here we go. All right, done with the festival. No, cool. I wasn't either. Oh. Oh my god. Alright, done with the festival? Oh, I wasn't either. And even though she already saw everything, she just wants to spend time with what she thinks is her friend, man. Hey, check this out. Also showed me how to... I almost missed this. How to make this wimpy crap. Yeah, it was stupid anyways. Flowers are boring. Flowers are boring. Oh, that's a kind of a funny, like, a little, like, a contrast. It's like, when she went in there, like, when they both, like, did the Dark World stuff and then came out, Asgore's like, oh, looks like you found a friend and somebody who also likes flowers, and, you know, for now she thinks they're boring. I don't think I can do anything else. Can't interact with that. I'm pretty sure I interact with that already. Oh, here you go. Maybe after I interact with everything, maybe I can go back to Sans. Go back to Sans. Oh, it's not yet. Okay. Maybe we don't even get ice cream for being pieces of shit. Already saw this. All right. Let's just proceed. Yep. Okay then. Gotta go wait for the ice cream, so music stop. Guess I'll see you later, huh? Chris, I'm not good at saying this stuff, but Even if we didn't really do anything, it was nice seeing the festival with you and stuff. I know me and Noel are getting kind of close, but you're still a big deal in me too. So cheer up, okay? Aww. See ya. Oh, go. My hands are off the keyboard for now. Oh my god. Aren't the benches there, right? Use the bread now. Now that Susie isn't here. Bread. Bread. A loaf of bread tends to leave crumbs wherever it goes. It's going slower. Couldn't. That's kind of scary. It's just, it's odd because they could have just not made the asterisk show up. The asterisk being there and then nothing following up makes it that much more fucking foreboding. Black shard bandage. Oh my, Chris, you can't even see Chris's like mouth. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, fuck. Beautiful animation. Chris. I know. Wait, Sonny, is it her talking? I know you wanted to deny it. I did too, at first. But eventually, we're going to have to face the truth. Yesterday, when everything happened, every cell in my body was screaming at me to run away. That if I stayed by your side any longer, you were going to drag me down with you. Drag me down somewhere no one is supposed to go. And you know what terrified me the most about that? I think she liked it. I want that. I want that. Since Des left. Oh shit. All I've been doing has just been marching down my path. Staying quiet, getting good grades. It feels like I've just been watching myself through glass. Watching someone else move me through my life. That's why I want to do something crazy. That's why I want to break free. But I can't. I couldn't. Because I'm just Noel. I'm Noel that has to do Noel things. Just like Chris has to do Chris things. But Chris, you changed. I forgot. Oh my god. I forgot to do Chris. You actually changed. I forgot. That fucking portrait is terrifying. Good lord. Like her hair is like all disheveled. I forgot to refresh myself on our whole conversation on chapter 4. Again, I can refresh myself later, I guess. You found out how to stop being Chris. No one else has noticed. Because they don't want to. They don't want to see how interesting you are now. They just keep marching down the same path without even thinking where it goes. Chris, who knows? Fucking lost it. Being around you is changing me too. Chris, when I cast Snowgrave, I felt stronger than I have in my entire life. I know, it's horrible. It's horrible to say that, but Chris, if it's you telling me to, I can do anything. If you tell me to, I can do the things that are impossible. Things no one else can do. So why don't we do it? Why don't we do something crazy? Tell me. Tell me to grow wings. And let's fly out this stupid town. To somewhere no one has ever been before. Fucking... Why isn't fucking Chris's like hair flowing too? The other side of the lake. We always wanted to see what was there, didn't we? The four of us when we were kids. So that's Chris, Noel, Rouse, Des, and Azriel. Chris, let's go there. You'll tell me, won't you? You tell me to. I can do anything. So, tell me, Chris. Oh, I can't move. I can't do anything right now. The words I've been waiting to hear. Let's see. Oh wow, you can actually abandon it. The words I've been waiting to hear. I mean, I'm here. Oh my god. Oh. The water's nice, isn't it, Chris? My fucking heart, dude, it's racing. Oh, they're going deeper. They're submerging. Chris, don't hesitate. Yeah, the game is giving you like, I feel like maybe at this point it's kind of pointless. It's colder than I thought. Yeah, here you're it's kind of it. Yeah, but there's no turning back here. Oh, they're getting deeper, dude. Chris, don't let go of my hands. Just keep walking. Chris, just keep walking. No, she's... Wait, the fucking... I feel like the fucking tables have turned here. Now, I'm not telling her to proceed anymore. She's telling me to proceed now. Like, the fucking roles have switched. Oh my god. Chris. Chris. Oh my god, you can actually see the fucking, like, her water fucking... her water floating in the hair. Her hair floating in the water. What is that sound in the fucking background, dude? Jesus. Oh, they have to like fucking raise her. Oh God. I'm proceed. Oh, you can. I'm assuming that I'm gonna have to keep doing this then. Chris, you can still hear me, can't you? Chris, keep saying it. We're communicating through fucking brainwaves at this point. Chris? Chris! What do her sprites look like, dude? Holy shit. Say it! Jesus. Chris! Jesus. Oh my God. Can we make it to the other side? Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Jesus. I have to fucking mash. That's where it ends, I guess. Insert chapter 7. Side B. It looks like a fucking TV, like a monitor. Well, it even like, well, you can see like the scan lines. We're looking at a console is what we're looking at right now. I feel like, oh my fucking God. I have to play through this again. Damn, we have to wait, by the way. So this ends here. This ends here. There's no more until the game is done, dude. Yeah, again, I feel like the tables turned, like our roles changed. And like at that point we were just fucking communicating through the text box, because then Noel's aware. Noel's like aware now that, you know, how this whole shit like works. Yeah, so post-editing box here. So just going back through like the footage, especially this section, you don't notice it until you hear yourself back, but I curse a lot. And I feel like that's like gonna be really off-putting for some people. You know, I know I started to get you know, a little bit taken out of it just hearing myself curse so much, so I just wanted to redo this section again and try to like replicate like my, you know, my impressions, you know, as raw. Try to like replicate that rawness that I had right after, you know, coming off of the heels of this like you know, the way route ending. So yeah, basically what I was like yapping about was that, you know, how Noelle said that she felt like that her life got stale after Des left. Like she started to feel herself, I guess, as like a sort of a piece in the story. Like she wasn't like really like conscious or like sentient. So you gotta wonder, right? I think this is something I like mentioned later in the video. I'm not sure. But you gotta wonder if these are like thoughts that she's had, you know, ever since we started the game. Or ever since like Des disappeared, because right after we started the game, you know, Des had been missing for like a while up to that point. So you gotta wonder if that's something that she had been thinking about all the way back then, or until we started to do the away route, that she, you know, something started to like, you know, awaken here, or awake inside her, or rather we were like we were trying to like, I guess, plant something inside of her. Because you gotta remember that Noelle is in a really vulnerable point in her life. You know, she's trying to keep it together. Her dad's in the hospital. Her mom is like, you know, her man is like really, her mom rather, sorry. Her mom is like really overbearing, if you could call her that. She seems like rather, you know, she seems like to have like a rather strict posture. She's very like very disciplined, I guess. That's how Carol comes off as. Doesn't have like a lot of friends, I guess. She has like Birdley on the other side. You know, I'm pretty sure Noelle appreciates herself. Noelle appreciates Birdley as a friend, but she also has to like play into his advances, even though she doesn't want to. You know, she has a hard time saying no. So, you know, she's dealing with all this shit. So again, she's like in this like really fine line where she's like trying to keep it together, and going fucking insane. And I feel like, you know, Chris comes along, or rather not Chris, come on, Gaster made me make Chris. All right, so we made Chris, you know, push Noelle over that line, and you know, through this ritual is what I like to call it, right? We make her realize her that she's like stronger than she is, through the weird route. Then we put on her the thorn ring and make her realize that no, that wasn't a dream, that was real. You know, we push her. There's like this really fine line, and it's like we just tip her over, and now she's become heightened, very hyper aware of like starting to realize that, you know, she can divert her path. You know, she can divert from her path. She can stop being like Noelle, I guess. And it's with our help that, you know, she realizes that kind of like Susie, right? Susie is like this other piece in the story where she's constantly going against she's constantly going against the status quo, right? She's very like autonomous. And I guess Noelle is starting to realize that she can do that, albeit in a lot more I guess destructive and terrifying way. And at that point, you know, once you read chapter 5, you know, the train is off the rails. There's like no really like going back. And that scene when you reach the beach, if you try to like say, if you try to tell her to stop, she just keeps pulling you until he starts to pull Chris into the water, and she tells them to proceed, right? Like like I was like repeating constantly that, you know, the roles at that point started to get switched around. So there's that, and I guess I was also given my impressions of like the whole drowning event, and you know how the game urges, or rather how you're urged to like mash, you know, because the moment is like rather you're mashing out of desperation. Although there's like this like sick dichotomy between, because you know you want to see what happens, but at the same time I guess you're trying to keep them alive. At least that's how I felt. So there's like this dichotomy, you know, between wanting to see what happens but also trying to prevent them from drowning and see if you're gonna reach another side. That the implications, right? Like what implication? What are you yapping about? You know, theorize. Okay, so well, what was Undertale's, not Undertale, what was Deltarune's survey program when the first chapter came out? It was called survey program. And again, everything I so far about like Deltarune, it makes it seem that it's you know, it knows that it's a game. Same with like Undertale, especially with things like in the code, things like being in the code. And I think that just further proves it, that the whole like monitor thing is that, you know, I don't think that's us, right? That's not our monitor. Someone else's somebody is watching the voice, right? I think that's the voice's monitor. Either that or again, jumping a lot of hoops here, or just simply it's a game, and now we need to insert another disc or a cartridge, much like this. Because if you don't, maybe I'm like maybe this doesn't have to do with that, but if you're not aware, Game Maker Studio had an update specifically for Deltarune, and that is that the whole game isn't all these chapters, they aren't an entire game, they're separate games. And you know, the save file structure, how it's like built, they can call from each other. I think that's how that works. But the key takeaway is these are like cartridges, right? And we don't have chapter 7 yet. But what does chapter 7 side B mean, right? I think so. Here's another thing, right? I already went on this tangent about this like whole monitor thing. It could be either that, again, somebody was watching us, and that's like the perspective now of somebody else, so we don't get to see the back, and that's their monitor. It's like, you know, and it's like letting us see that side of this universe, I guess. You know, Gasser, if you want to call it that, or just simply the game. It's literally just a CRT TV, like if you were like playing a game, and it's waiting you to insert like another disc or a fucking file, and we don't have that yet. But about side B, right? I feel like that's the abandoned way around. I feel like that's what that is. Because like so side B, so that gives the implication that there's side A, maybe, you know, side C, side D. We don't know how many there are. As far as it goes, it's B. So there has to be an A. That for sure. That's for sure has to be it. An A has to be how you end the game regularly. And the weird route up until this point seemingly ends in chapter 5. So there's no way you cannot continue chapter 5, I feel. What happens if I go to festival day, right? Let's see what happens if I press play, because there was like no save. I couldn't save. If the fucking same screen shows up again, I'm gonna fucking jump off my seat. Because that means that we're locked, right? You can't chapter 6 come out and you still won't be able to like proceed. From like the last fucking chapter. It still starts the same way. I know it's the weekend, but if not, oh, you can't eat. Mama, you gonna talk to me? Ah, dude, the fucking fact that Chris is like trying to fucking resist so much. I feel like that has to be it, right? Like side B has to be the abandoned weird. You go through the game regularly. Who knows how the fuck that's gonna end? But where the fuck were they going, right? Again, she said that she wanted to do something fucking crazy. And within like at least like the confines of this world, we don't know if anything exists outside of it. So maybe they're going out of bounds. That's another thing. Noelle has transcended now, in a sense. She's aware of a lot more things now. I gotta see if is there, I gotta see if like the whole fucking like white, the whole thing screen going white, dude, the fucking box turning red, that's fucking nuts, man. I gotta check if there's like a video, the screen fading into white or whatever, or whiting out, if that's like baked in, or if that's just like a filter that you can remove and maybe you can see what the fuck is happening. Dude, Noelle's fucking sprites look insane. Good lord. I am going to quit. Chris is probably going to be very happy about that, but don't worry, buddy. We're coming back. We're coming back. I'm going to exit. I'm going to back this up. That was short. Dude, I cannot wait to see what the speculation is, especially with people who have already gone into the files and probably can investigate a little bit more, just to like get some more breadcrumbs, you know, wink wink, about what's going on. I'm very interested. You're always not gonna get the whole answer, dude. How far is fucking chapter 7 away? I feel like chapter 7 is definitely gonna be. Chapter 6 apparently doesn't take too long. Actually, that makes sense. If they don't have to do weird route content for chapter 6, that's probably why it's not taking so long. Tell me, you're fucking sick bastard. Chapter 7 might take like a. Chapter 7 is gonna take a long ass time. Fuck, man. We might actually. This game might actually come out fucking. So 2027 this game comes out in 2027. They didn't specify early, mid, late quarter. And how long is the wait for chapter 7 gonna be? Because that you know, you have to tie it in with the weird route. So Chris, I'm just gonna do this. Oh, this feels horrible, dude. So I need to try a couple things. I need to, when I said proceeds, when they're starting to drown, screen is going white, I need to let that go and see what happens there. And I also need to see what happens when you abandon it. And because again, seemingly after this, I don't think you can go into the dark world anymore, right? So either way, it has to end. I feel like it has to end on side B. I'll see. I'm gonna stop here, see if anything happens if I let it stand, because I want to talk for a moment. I feel like I just like need to let this sit for a moment and see how it like marinades inside me. So then I can put out like my thoughts. But by then, I don't think I want to do a video again. This isn't like a thing I want to keep doing. It's just that, you know, again, Delta Room is special to me, so you know I come out of the woodwork whenever there's like a new chapter. So I guess I'm just trying to say everything I can now. Again, we have to wait to chapter 7 to fucking like find out. But yeah, if you want my advice, prepare a abandoned weird route save until you get the thorn ring, and you can craft like and just hold on to the thorn ring. I don't know if you have to like abandon it earlier or abandon it here. There we go. Yeah, that's where it starts. This is where I think I can. That's where I think I can. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna let it just see what happens here. I was wrong. The dream never happened. Chris hadn't changed. I hadn't changed. I've simply gotten carried away. When did you say you made up that song? Okay, now you do one. Me? Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, French fry on the floor, it is you that I adore. Juicy and salty and lots more. Dude, you'd be like a pro music guy. It's never really been my talent. Really? Because even when it's dumb stuff, your singing's... I really like it. Thanks, Susie. Man, today was probably one of the best days ever. Nothing changed. Oh, I thought it was one of the best days ever, but I guess it's still getting better. Ooh, that's different. Nothing changed. I mean, like, ran away from home? I guess, but I'm too weak to do that. Her portrait is different. Nothing changed. What? You were calling about that? Nothing changed. Because a Noel... it's just a Noel. Hey, you okay? Yeah, wasn't even sure you were alive for a sec. Me and Noella kind of ended up, you know where she is? Wanted some ice cream for her and she's just gone. I want to go look for her, but I don't know. You don't need to be here alone, right? Oh! Wait, so is this a continuation? Get up. Let's go. Well, okay, obviously we need to go Zargon mode. Oh god. Okay, you good yet? We can go. We can go. Went to get ice cream from no. So is this a continuation? I don't have the bread anymore. What the fuck was the bread for then? There's a small jar of something in your pocket. It feels like glass, but... you looked through the glass for some strange moment. For just a moment. You thought you saw Susie in a far-off window, unkempt and glaring. Hmm? You don't need it again, dumbass. I don't know why, but I was really worried about you guys. You're both acting kind of weird, and I'm just glad you're okay. Probably says something weird again. Let's go, okay? I can seemingly just... Shattered rose. Only one knows the rose's meaning. Only one knows the rose's meaning. Shattered rose. So this is a bit of an abrupt cut, like I know. I stopped past this point. I did do other things, but I lost that footage. I'll elaborate later. Anyways, but yeah, I just stopped because, I had already played Chapter 5. I had already spent enough time playing through the game that, I didn't want to do this chapter again, even though I'm well aware that there are some differences. I'm not completely spoiled to them, but it doesn't matter because, I don't think I'm gonna upload anything in regards to Deltarune, at least Chapter 5 again anytime soon. I'll do that on my own time, but yeah, I just had priorities. I already, played through the chapter, but I just didn't want to do it again. I'll do it some other time. So what are my thoughts now? Right, I should specify that I'm recording this. As of now, it is July, my bad, July 6th. That recording was from June 28th. So obviously I've had time to sit on the information, you know, read through like what other people think and kind of form my own opinion off of that. So the main point I stopped at, right, the whole description where it says that, you know, the shattered rose, you know, only one knows the roses through me, true meaning, I think that's what I said. So I had sat on that for like a while. You know, after talking with friends, I brought it up with friends. Each of us came to like our own conclusion. I didn't really see anybody talk about it on Twitter. I never saw it circling around, but you know what it reminded me of? You know how in chapter 4, I believe, there, you know, the weird rat scene originally, how it ended after you put the thorning on Noel. There's like this like animation of a rose wilting, you know, that's, and that in itself you can go into like a, it's, that can be like its own discussion. But after talking about like the weird root in general with another friend, I completely forgot about that scene, and you know, and having reviewed these two things back to back helped me make like a connection that I hadn't realized before, and I hadn't seen other people at least like brought up. And again, it just like reminded me of that. I don't want to get too much into the controversy of the scene, but obviously it got changed. It's speculated or assumed that it got changed because people like misinterpreted it. I feel like the whole shattered rose thing was probably referencing that scene, and I feel like Toby maybe fired his shot a little bit too early, right? I feel like this he was under the belief, I feel like he could trust his fans that maybe they wouldn't interpret it, or they would know that there would be some kind of payoff later, which is where what I'm inclined to believe. I think that scene, along with like the rose imagery that we're starting to see, like especially with like the new item that was uncovered in the files of chapter 5, I forgot what the name was, the Gilded Rose, I think it was called. But yeah, I feel like later on that all this like rose imagery that's starting to show up was supposed to like pay off sometime later, and we were supposed to like connect it with, you know, the whole wilting rose scene. It was, again, because the whole description says only one knows the rose's meaning. You know, who knows what that's supposed to mean, but I do know, I strongly believe that that has to do with the scene that was like removed. Again, that was supposed to have some sort of payoff, but hopefully, you know, I mean, it's still happened. It's still a thing that people can reference. So, you know, maybe later on there's more context later on, and you're able to piece it together and you know, come to the realization that, oh, that's what that was supposed to mean. But yeah, after coming so far here, I mean, you can abandon it. There's a couple things I want to talk about the abandoned reroute. At least the I keep switching between pronunciations. I keep saying route or route. I'm sorry. After you abandon the chapter 5 weird route, or you know, you have to like wonder what Noel's and Chris's relationship is gonna be like, you know, moving onward, because like up to this point, you know, you've already Chris practically transformed into another person in front of Noel when they were in Noel's, you know, living room, not living room, her room. You know, you're reading her thoughts and like all this, and communicating with her through, you know, through the text box. And you know, I think she you know, she knows a lot at this point. So again, you gotta wonder what that's gonna be like after chapter 5, after you abandon it. Because if I recall correctly, I think I saw on Twitter a screenshot of like, you know, when you're in front of the Ferris wheel and you ask Noel to go with you to ride, you know, to ride with Chris, she's like, oh, I'm not gonna listen to anything you say anymore, you hear? And that's like, you know, I think that it kind of means that, you know, their relationship is kind of over as friends, maybe, or not that they aren't friends anymore. It's just that Noel is like a lot more cautious of Chris now, you know, thanks to us, because it can go both ways, right? You can abandon it early in chapter 2 just to like save the thorn ring so you can make the twisted sword later chapter. It could be either 6 or 7, you know, who knows. Or you could abandon it all the way up in chapter 5. But at that point, I don't think you're able to get the thorn ring back. I will touch on a little bit of what I think will happen in chapter 6, you know, at least, you know, speculate like a little bit. I won't go too into it, but that's, you know, for a bit later into the video. So besides, you know, Chris's like relationship after, I don't know how that's gonna be, you know, after abandoning the weird route, Another thing I did was, which again I lost the footage for, it was that I replayed the beginning again, the intro, and I started pressing stop, and there's like a point where it all starts to tell you to proceed again, which again that kind of solidifies to me what I was saying, where like I believe that the roles have been switched at that point, and Noel starts telling you to proceed. I'm kind of surprised at watching this footage back, because again, this whole thing about like the bread and the breadcrumbs and the old man country, the whole section in chapter 3, was it in chapter 3, where you can look through the binoculars and there's like this like monochrome landscape far in the distance. I'm surprised that I picked that one of the ideas that I mentioned while I was like playing through it live for the first time, is that I was speculative that they might have gone out of bounds, because I did not put that together at all. I don't think I could have, because like I said, I don't. Well, I haven't mentioned this before, but I'm not too involved in the Deltarune community. I only talk about it with a couple close friends. I will look at Twitter sometimes what other people like have to say, and like I'll look at like 2 or 3 YouTube videos. I mainly look at a couple YouTubers, I guess, for Deltarune content, but this whole connection with like the breadcrumbs and mother, I wouldn't have been able to connect that by myself. So again, I'm surprised that I propose that could be a possibility. This is going to get a little bit more into like the side B talk, because there's still like a lot of speculation about what that might be. I saw a video, because I saw a friend bring this up, which was how the weird route is referred to in the code as side B in multiple instances, and there's like this like value, or there's like this like line in the code, I believe, that it's can either be set to true or false. And if you're doing the weird route, it's like set to like a certain number, like a 0 or a 1. Again, I don't remember. And once you abandon it, it turns off again. So yeah, if you're doing the weird route, it gets turned on. And then if you abandon it, it gets turned off. And in the case of chapter 5, if you abandon it, even though the weird route fail or abort jingle doesn't play, in the code, the weird route seemingly gets turned off. So it's like, it's abandoned. So people think that cannot be what side B is, because side B is the weird route itself, because again, that's how it refers to itself in the code. But I have a problem believing that, because, and again, let me preface, there's like a lot of details. There's people that are a whole lot more knowledgeable with this about this. I'm just speaking from surface knowledge. I don't look into the code. I wouldn't understand what to even like look for. There's people that like are able to like read between the lines like a lot better than I can. But again, one problem I have with believing that side B is the weird route is that in the end screen, when it says, insert chapter 7 side B, presumably you are not able to continue the weird route unless you have this chapter 7 side B. So what does that entail, right? What is chapter 7 side B? What is it calling for? So clearly it's calling for extra data or a save, but side B, again, we're using the weird route as a reference point. If side B is the weird route, you can't even complete it. It's like a bit of a paradox. So it's asking for itself, even though you cannot proceed past the lake scene on chapter 5. Like presumably, again, you're not going to be able to continue it in chapter 6, because it's asking for this data that you don't have. So I think it's something else, and I think it could be either of one or two things. It can be that side B is actually the regular route, or it's the abandoned reroute. I'm more inclined to believe that it's the abandoned reroute. Again, this is more so a speculation, but one of the key differences between the normal playing through the game normally and doing the abandoned reroute is that in the abandoned reroute you get the thorn ring, and you can make the twisted sword, and I feel like that's going to play a big part in the weird route. And let me remind you that, assuming that side B is a completely different thing, it's actually asking for something else other than the weird route because of the reasons I've already explained. You're loading in a save file that has had completely different events that happened compared to your current weird route save. So who who knows what kind of elements you're bringing in from your save and how that's going to affect the weird route. So like I'm talking about items, I'm talking about progress. You know, what kind of items can you bring over, you know, which is the reason why I said that the abandoned weird route might be side B, and why it being labeled as, and why the weird route being labeled at side B might be like a misdirect, because again, you have different items in your completed chapter 7 save. You could potentially bring over a purified crystal, or you could bring over a twisted sword, and you know, those could have like completely different effects on your weird route save. So you can think, I feel like an idea I'm seeing thrown around is that, you know, Chris and Noel clipped out of bounds. I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that should be argued with. I think that's pretty clear, given how, again, the whole connections with like the breadcrumb, the whole, yeah, with the breadcrumbs, the whole, you know, chapter 3 egg, and more importantly, you know, before the last portrait of Noel that shows up, when you're both submerged underwater, her hair is dry again. When, you know, when the previous sprite show her slowly submerging into the water, her hair gets wet, starts floating in the water, and then it's completely dry again in the last 2 portraits. So I take it, not that I take it, it's just I've seen people mention that this might be that they're breaking like out of the game itself, and I don't think that's the case. What I think is happening is that, remember, by the end, the game is asking you for data, right? It's telling you to insert a disc or something, a side B, right? It can be interpreted as a disc, or a save of a finished playthrough. And the reason why they're seemingly clipping out, or not clipping out, going out of bounds, is that the data for that part of the map doesn't exist yet. So it could be something more akin to a wrong warp, right? In game development, some areas, for example, like in some games, I don't have like I don't have direct or concrete examples, but in some games, the final area could be like right next to the beginning of the game, but there's like no way to access it, because there's either like a wall, or there's other parameters in place that just won't let you. So there's probably on the other side, you know, at least adjacent to where the lake is supposed to be, in the map of Deltarune, maybe there's like an area in Hometown that just doesn't exist yet, that you would access through another part of town that you can get to earlier if you cross the other side of the lake and go out of bounds, because nothing exists outside of there. But in terms of the game, you know, it's kind of breaking outside of like that reality, and, you know, skipping to another part of the map earlier. So that's why I think this whole side B thing, it might be a misdirect. And again, I was using the whole like wrong warp thing as an example. I'm not literally saying that at the other side of the lake, you know, adjacent, you know, in the game map itself, you know, the place adjacent to the lake is like the final area of the game. I'm just saying that it could be like just another area that we don't have yet, because the data for chapter 6 and you know, most importantly 7, because that's what the game is asking you to insert is something related to chapter 7. So until chapter 7 comes out, and that's the other thing, right? We don't know if the requirement is like a completed chapter 7 save, be it the regular route or abandoned weird route, which again is what I'm heavily inclined to believe is what it's asking you to insert, is a abandoned weird route chapter 7 save. Or once chapter 7 comes out, the data's there, and you're just able to like boot up chapter 5 and continue on from there. So I think it's either one of those two possibilities. Another curious thing about this whole ordeal is that, you know, up until this point, you're able to collect all the shadow crystals. So it's kind of weird that seemingly here you're not able to get the last one. So you got to ask yourself if, you know, given the Dark World the Flower King Dark World never existed, you know, Mew never got in, the shadow crystal never manifested, you gotta wonder if you can still get the other shadow crystal somewhere else through other means, or if that's kind of it, you're kind of locked from it. Because then again, you aren't even able to, you know, we assume this is like a point of no return. You're not even able to go back to Castletown or meet Sham, or put together the shadow crystals yourself to make the purified crystal. Or maybe there's like another item that you can make with the purified crystal that again hasn't been introduced in the game files, because again it's for a later chapter. But yeah, like compared to the eggs, you can't get all of the eggs if you're doing the Wii route, but for the crystals you can seemingly get all of them, except for chapter 5's. Right, so that's said somewhere in my recording that I was gonna speculate on chapter 5, and well, I already dug up myself that hole. I mean, I could just like not elaborate, but you know, having mentioned it, I'll try to like do some predictions. I'm not going for accuracy or like anything. I'm just like going off of memory based on things that happen in chapter 5. So I guess the big fourth party shaped elephant in the room is, you know, is exactly that. So, you know, Noelle going into the school closet and, you know, Susie introducing her to the light world. I feel like that could happen, but not exactly how you think. I think there being like a fourth party member in the group is like it's a whole other issue. But in terms of like Noelle coming over to the to Castletown, you gotta remember that, you know, she just received a call from her mom that her dad fell down, you know, but we still don't know if that means that he fell from the ladder and is injured, or if he, you know, fell down in Undertale terms, you know, where he's collapsed, you know, he's laying down now and is just at the verge of death. Or I'm not sure if the weird route changes this, if things would have gone differently if you just continued the game normally. Because if you go check on Rudy during the weird route, you know, it's already afternoon. It's kind of around the same time where Noelle gets the call. If you go to the city hall, Rudy is like sitting down, you know, leaning next to the ladder, you know, all week. So, you know, that could be either that he's about to enter the fallen down state, or he's just like really weak from, you know, from exerting himself, because, you know, he's still sick. He's out here climbing on ladders, which is, God, man, I hate it. When I was like playing for the first time and I saw him on the ladder, I was like, man, don't fall. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Rudy! Yo! My man! Actually, I don't want to interact with him because what if he fucking falls? Oh my god, Rudy, careful. What good's a father if he can help out his little girl? Just be careful, okay? Yo, don't fall, Rudy. Because that should be back to crown king and queen. Or maybe it'll be 2 queens this year. Dad. Rudy, don't fall. Don't fall. God damn it, don't fall. And then Noelle gets the call. Listen, I told you not to call me anymore. It's Rudy. It's Rudy. You were calling about Dad? Oh. He fell down at the festival. Oh, I knew it, dude. I knew that was like a bad omen, dude. That ladder there. But yeah, we don't know if he just like overexerted himself and he's taking a break. We don't know what happens after. Actually, I'm not sure if there's like any weird time discrepancies after, because, you know, you go check on Rudy. He's sitting down next to the ladder. You know, he's out of breath, and then you go meet Noelle at the lake, and if you let Chris and Noelle drown, you know, the scene continues on as normal, and then Noelle gets the call. But I can't remember if it's still sunset, right? If there's like any weird time dilations there, if we're turning like back the clock, because on top of that, you know, on top of figuring out if Rudy fell down from the ladder or fell down as in, you know, as in close to death's door, we don't know if, you know, another possibility could be that, you know, Carol called Noelle, and then Noelle tells her that, hey, I'm with Susie, don't bother me anymore. And, you know, just hearing that her daughter, you know, who knows like Carol was calling like Noelle. Like, we're under the impression, based on what we're hearing Noelle Noelle repeat what her mother is saying over the phone, we're under the impression that, you know, Rudy fell down. What if like Carol just like straight up lied to Noelle to get her away from Susie? You know, that could also happen. But beside that, you know, let's assume that Rudy is actually in bad shape. You know, whether he fell down, you know, either meaning is fine. And, you know, Noelle left without telling Susie what was up. So Susie is, you know, at the end of the chapter, she's under the impression of, I'm gonna prepare the castle town for Noelle for her arrival. She's gonna make it all nice. You know, she's gonna decorate it. She has her own room now, and she doesn't know why Noelle left, right? So assume she doesn't even know where Noelle is. You know, Noelle could be, again, this theory of mine is gonna branch to like a couple places, so, you know, bear with me. So, you know, she could be either at the hospital or at the holidays home. I think it would be better for the story if they went to like the holiday, if Noelle was at the holiday home, maybe to spend the last times with like the last moments with Rudy. I think it would be better if they were at their home, assuming Rudy is about to die. So either way, you know, Susie goes over to Noelle. she's in a chipper mood. You know, she's excited and tries to like, hey, I got something I want to show you. You know, Noelle's in the state where, you know, her dad is like in a really bad condition, and like Susie's like, Noelle is like, hey, Susie, like, no, now, you know, now's not a good time. And I have a feeling that Susie might try to like keep persuading Noelle, because at least that's how she behaves like around Chris. Susie in general has like a really hard time like being forward with like people. Like, she doesn't want to be too overbearing. She feels like it's weird to like be, you know, transparent about her emotions. And we see that side of her a lot in like chapter 5, where you know Chris, you kind of look like you're going through it, but everything is like gonna be fine. Like, you matter a lot to me, you know, that kind of deal, right? And yeah, we just don't know how Noelle will react to that, assuming that's how Susie is gonna behave like around Noelle. And I think it's gonna reach a point where, you know, Susie might not be able to read the room in time, and Noelle is just gonna get, again, Noelle has a huge crush. She loves Susie, but I don't know if, you know, given like the situation she's in right now, if she's gonna have the same unconditional, you know, like patience like for Susie. So I feel like it might reach a point and boil over where she tells like Susie to go home, and, you know, Susie fumbles the plan. And that's the other issue, right? How is Susie going to go, assuming Noelle is at the holiday house, at her house, we're gonna assume Carol is there as well, assuming she didn't lie to her daughter and Rudy's actually fine. How is Susie supposed to go inside, you know, Noelle's house when if Carol's there, she's not gonna let her go in? We do know that they have to go in the holiday home anyways, because Susie, at least from Susie's perspective, she doesn't know all the codes. We as a player, we might know all the codes. I think, again, I'm not sure if we have the Deltarune portion of the code. I'm under the impression that that's the code that the fire hydrant had in the church. So it's like, what was it? It's, so you had, you know, 1225, you have 2202, and then the one in Asgore's flower shop, which was like a reference to like Undertale's release date, more or less. So as a player, we know them, but Chris is not going to let us enter the code. It's going to be Susie who's going to enter the code once she knows them all, and it's going to be like up to Chris. Chris is going to need some restraint to allow Susie to open the shelter door. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's not what this theory is about. I'm getting way ahead. Yeah, I'm having a hard time like setting up a scenario, because again, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Susie is gonna try to get Noelle. She's gonna fumble it because Noelle is not in the mood. And what I feel is gonna happen is that Susie and Chris are gonna bring the Dark World to Noelle, right? They might create a fountain wherever Noelle is. And I feel this would make sense if it's at the hospital, because they're free to like go in and out as they please, because they can visit patients. Although I'm not sure if they're going to be like allowed to go into the room Rudy is in. Maybe Noelle slips out for a moment, you know, talks to them, tells them to leave, and then they check if the holiday home, because their next priority is like getting the code. So maybe they go to the holiday home next. Okay, Carol isn't there. We don't know where Carol is. Last time she was like at the bunker, but we don't know where Carol went like after that. So, you know, Chris and Susie go back to the holiday home. They get the idea to open a fountain there, maybe, and maybe they call Noelle or something, and Noelle like comes over. I don't know. It's getting crazy at this point. I really wish I had sat down to write a more like cohesive theory, because I'm just flinging shit at a wall, hoping something sticks. Narrative wise, I think that would be like the best path. You know, something along those lines. Again, if this is like the third time I've repeated it, you know, Susie fails to get Noelle. They go to the holiday house. They make a dark fountain there or something. I don't know. Because again, there's this ice palace, right? I feel like the ice palace in the sword route, the sword game, in the mantle game in chapter 3, it might be referencing the holiday household. But again, man, I feel like the holiday house sets itself up to be such a good dark world, right? It must be massive, just given the size of the home. Like, they have to make it, that has to be dark world, either that or the hospital. But let's say Carol lied to Noelle, right? Carol lied to Noelle, and then they try to find Noelle, you know, Susie and Chris, and they can't find her like anywhere. Or maybe Noelle's cooped up at home because she's like grounded now. I don't freaking know, man. And then Susie and Chris have to find like a way to sneak in, and maybe they make a dark world in there. I don't know. Again, I haven't made like a cohesive theory or like a sequence of events here, but you know, I'll help you, you know, you get the idea of what I'm trying to set up here. I feel like that's kind of it for like my, you know, chapter 6 part of the, you know, speculation. I think that's kind of all I wanted to say. This is kind of like a side tangent from like this whole topic, although I'm kind of done talking about SIB. It's just that during the whole ARG, you know, when the ARG was going down, people were starting to get their responses. I feel like people don't quite, and again, this is me just speaking with like surface information, you know, there's people who are like 7 layers deep. I'm not going to discredit like their knowledge, you know, if they're saying this stuff, it's because they know something that I don't, and I just can't understand it, because like I said, I'm only on layer 1. But one thing this game does for sure is that it makes itself clears about what it's talking about in some instances. So for example, when the whole when the ARG was going down before chapter 5 came out, you know, people had like a second chance to like give their responses to the new question, or not a second chance, it was like a completely new question, you know, where will it take place. But the previous one, people were relating it to Des, because I know this is like a very big part of like Deltarune's mystery, but I don't think she's this is gonna sound crazy, but I don't think she's that important. In fact, I'm not even gonna elaborate. I'm just gonna say that you're probably not even gonna see Des, at least in present time. We might get like a cutscene in the past, kind of like the whole in chapter 3 where we see them gathered in the living room, where we see like Des's like silhouette. But I am under the belief that you're not even gonna see Des. Des is scattered to the winds. You know, she has been disintegrated. she doesn't exist anymore. You know, no basis, no reason, no what's or if. That's just what I believe. But yeah, back on the first question of the ARG, you know, people were under the impression that maybe they were going to get more Des lore, and that was like a lot of the responses were Des adjacent. And one of the responses that to that we got from, you know, our correspondence from the person answering is that, you know, they said, hey, when you have a bat, everything looks like a ball. And I feel like that said a lot. And even in the second part of the ARG, where you were asked, you know, where will it take place, I feel like people caught, some of the smarter people caught on to that it wasn't going to be Des, but there were still some people that's saying that, oh, we're gonna meet Des at the lake, or we're gonna find Des as a corpse in the lake. We got the responses. They were clearly focused about Noel. Yeah, they dead dropped Noel's name like 2-3 times in the responses, and people were still talking about Des. And again, I just think some people's like efforts and focus, some people's efforts and their focus are on the wrong thing. And when I at least think, you know, I don't mean to make this about how, you know, I'm wrong, I'm right, and you guys are wrong. But again, it's something that you notice when you look at speculation, is that I think the Toby, and even like in the game, I think again some things are left vague. I mean, that's part of the theorizing. That's why some people have gone crazy just theorizing about this game, because there's a lot of mystery left still. But I feel like people are just like looking in the wrong places, or putting their focus and efforts like on the wrong thing. And like another thing, I guess, is like Gaster. You know, I'm not gonna refute. I'm not gonna say that Gaster is by no means is like irrelevant or like important. He's all over the place. But I also feel people have like this like wrong expectation of Gaster, where, you know, they think that they're gonna be able to like fight him or meet him, or Chris is gonna sit down and talk with Gaster. And I don't think that's gonna happen. If at least the way I see Gaster, Gaster is a godlike entity, right? He's omniscient, he's omnipotent, and he's omnipresent. He's basically God. And throughout Deltarune's like a story, he's seen mostly as an observer. That's literally all he's doing. He's just watching. He's studying. He's giving feedback to the player, or sharing his thoughts to the player. So I don't see why Gaster would have the need to, you know, show himself through this like world of Deltarune. That's not what gods do. And also, if you also think that you're gonna fight Gaster, like I'm sorry to break the news to you, but that's also, in my opinion, that's not gonna happen. Again, you're talking about God. How are you supposed to, first of all, how are you supposed to fight God when he's like 7 layers? He's like 7 layers on top of the game. You know, we don't know if like the characters are going to be able to climb through those layers, and if they can, we still have to see, you know, if that's something that's going to happen. In which case, if that does happen, you know, I'll retract my statement. I'll retract it here. Actually, I'll future proof this video if the, you know, if the Fun Gang or whatever, or one of them, or Noel, you know, wherever this ends up happening, the reroute, the regular route or the abandoned reroute or whatever, how many other routes just so happen to come out of like this like a branching path in the game. If they happen to like escape, you know, the vice layer, I've heard that theory. I haven't like watched a video. It's like 11 it's like 11 hour, it's not like 11-hour long theory. You know, if they manage to climb outside of the vice, then, you know, I was wrong, you know, just pure future proofing this video. But just given just how Gaster is as an entity, I don't think that's gonna happen, right? I don't think you're gonna meet Gaster face to face. At least Chris, you know, Chris and gang are not gonna meet Gaster face to face. We might, right? As a player, we might communicate. We might actually see what he looks like. But then again, his appearance might not even be that important. Again, like I said, fans have kind of like built this expectation around Gaster. You know, we have all this fan art, what he would look like. We're also so like attached. Well, not we. I'm not attached. But yeah, just people are like so attached to the idea of like what Gaster is. You know, Gaster maybe being that one, the mystery man from the Undertale, right? You enter the door and there's like this guy with like holes in his hands. People are so attached to that being Gaster that it might not even like be him, right? Like, I get it, like the fun value, if I recall correctly, associated with my room is a 6/6, I think, if I recall correctly, something like that, you know, something associated with a Gaster. But the other entity that we find, who is like this figure with like a white, it's almost like seemingly like white hair or like a white cloth over its face, and then we see that person or that entity talk, and that person actually speaks in like in Wingding. So, you know, so which one is Gaster? I'm inclined to believe it's that guy. But yeah, much less fight him. Again, you're not gonna fight Gaster. I'm sorry. I think what Gaster would be cool as, you know, as a vehicle for like exposition and stuff, you know, will be interesting to learn, you know, why is he doing like all this? What is, you know, what is this like device? You know, I think at most what Gaster will function as is just like a device to you know, wink wink, is a vehicle for, you know, exposition, you know, more exposition about the story and like the universe, and that would be very, very interesting. Again, this is more so like how I view Gaster. Like, I don't know why people like want to fight him. I don't see him as an antagonist, at least like personally. Like I was saying, he's just an observer. He's more of a bystander, if you will. You can kind of compare him to Kara, I guess. Not that they share personalities or the same motives, but like, did you reach? I feel like Gaster is gonna have the same appearance in Deltarune as Kara did in Undertale, and what I mean by that is that they're gonna appear like in the very tail end of the game, and like, you know, and by that point you're dealing with like a god level entity, and you're not really able to do anything about it, except Gaster might be a bit more benevolent, and once this experiment is concluded and all is done, he's just gonna go on his way, you know, and that's gonna be the end under Deltarune. But yeah, thanks for watching / listening. I did record my playthrough of chapter 5 like in its entirety, but it's a lot of work. I'm gonna edit that, you know, just edit all the mistakes and just like interruptions. And at one point my microphone muted for some reason. It's just, again, it was like a really important part of the game. I think it was during a Flowey's scene, or not Flowey's, Flowey's glue before you fight him, you know, his like whole monologue, and even way, you know, pretty late into the battle is like when I realized that my microphone was off, so, you know, I just kind of lost all that commentary, and I don't really feel like putting it out there. Maybe for a future chapter, you know, I might upload my reactions or my playthroughs of the remaining chapters once those come out. Again, I'm not sure. For chapter 7, I think that's definitely going to be a monumental event in the fandom, so, you know, I kind of want to be part of it, so I'll try to be just ready for that. Again, we have time. That thing isn't going out till 2029. You can bet your ass. Actually, now that I'm here, screw it, why don't I talk about chapter 7 for like a little bit? I'm not even gonna try to predict what's going to happen in that chapter, but what I will tell you is like about the development about it. I have the feeling that chapter 7 is going to change the entire structure of the game and how it works. Over the years, probably ever since Game Maker got reworked, I assume that they've been probably working on elements of like chapter 7, just again so that they don't have to like do it from scratch when, you know, when the moment to make chapter 7 comes around, so they can just like re-implement that stuff in. Because I think it would suck if they truly haven't started like chapter 7 and now they have to like go through like the entire game now. I think this is something that they've been doing, you know, again in isolation, testing it, and, you know, for the public release of the game, they just take all that crap out, because obviously you don't want spoilers. People are digging through it constantly, and they're just gonna spill the beans once they find you know, once they find anything like related to like future content, unless Toby is truly paranoid Although, you know, he has shown like to have complete trust in his team. Like, by the way, I think that team, Toby's team, probably deserves like an award just for like team loyalty. Like, nothing about this game has leaked, and it's kind of crazy. And I think they deserve an applause for that. But yeah, let's say Toby's like absolutely paranoid that he doesn't want anybody, like, absolutely nobody knowing anything about the story and how it's like it's gonna end. Now the team has to like start 7 from scratch, and they have to go through each chapter like individually and like make it tie into the end. Because again, you have to take into account the regular ending, the weird route ending, and the abandoned weird route, assuming that also is going to affect the game. I'm not going to really like elaborate too much on this. It's kind of dangerous actually to put this like out there without really like you know, explaining further why I have this reasoning in my head. But I think there might be reset shenanigans, you know, imminent, and that might involve us having to play through like the game again, or certain parts of the game, kind of like the whole, you know, side B thing, but like an actual, you know, altering things in the end that carry over to your second playthrough, which should be shorter probably, because, you know, the game's like so long already, and maybe you can alter the game again in that way, something like that. But again, I'm not going to elaborate on that. That's going to be a very convoluted theory to even explain. It's just an idea I have in my mind. I'll just leave it there. But yeah, thanks for listening to my nonsense. I'll see you in like, I don't know, like 3 years or something. Peace.